I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, yes, it's visible.
Okay, hello guys. I'm Shashank Kesar from IET NITK. I'm a third year civil engineering student. So I'll be taking a session on Adobe Photoshop. So this is the editor series, and today is the second week of the 3 week editor series. The first week was taken by Laksh on OBS Studio. Hope everybody have watched the session on the which was streamed live on the YouTube. And then Photoshop is actually used by thousands of people across the globe. Like it's a software used for image editing, photo retouching, and then you can also create, enhance, or otherwise edit images. Even you can do so many artwork or illustrations on that using that. Then you can use it to create logos, posters, etc. using this versatile tool. I mean the Adobe Photoshop. And then let's get started. So you have to go to file here, and then the you have to first create a new project. So you have to click on new, and then the first thing which appears is this window. So in this window you can see so many stuff. So the this is the present details. Like you can name it whatever you want to save, like whatever you want to rename the project as. I name it as IETMITK. Then below that you can see date, height, resolution, pixels, orientation, color mode, background contents, etc. So I'll be choosing pixels. So you know pixels. Does anyone know what exactly a pixel is? All right. Pixel is the smallest controllable element of a picture on a screen. Like you know this. For example, this window is made up of thousands of squares of objects. I think you know that. So that one single square is known as a pixel. So this is the width and the height. I'll be choosing 1,000 width and 1,000, or you can even choose 500 into 500.
Shashank,
And
can
the
you,
resolution is nothing but the how finer is the image.
hello, Shashank. I was
Yeah,
saying, can
Laksh.
you zoom in a bit on the screen using the key mouse pad? Like, is it possible?
No, not happening. I don't think it's possible.
Okay, okay, fine, fine. No worries. Yeah, go ahead, continue, continue.
Visible now.
Yeah, it's visible, visible.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have chosen resolution as 50. Like it's just the finest. You can choose it 100 or how much ever you want. So the I'll choose it as pixel per inch, or you can even choose pixel per centimeter. It depends on you. So background contents. So you can put the color as white, black, or you can make it transparent, or you can do whatever you want. So I'll open it. Just click on create or click the enter key. Now this is the interface of the Adobe Photoshop. Like you can see this here. I don't think it's visible for you, but it's written 161%. That is the how much percent this interface, I mean this background is zoomed. So if you put as 100, this is the actual size of the image. I'll zoom it in just so that you guys can see this. Now I'll tell you what happens if you choose a lesser pixel background and like I'll just show it to you. Say you have put just 50 and 50, so there are less squares, right? Less background. So I'll type something. So I think you can see small boxes over here. So this one single box is known as one pixel. So if you choose the smaller number, like it won't look good. Just see here what happens if you choose the larger number. I have chosen 1000 over 1000 here. So the clarity is much good on this background. So coming to the next part. So first you can see the right side. So what this is, these are the layers. You can see the IETN indicates the text layer, and then this is the background layer. You can see that the background layer is locked, so you cannot move it actually. It's impossible to move. Only you can move the text part. So in order to move the background, you need to unlock it by pressing on the unlock, and then you can move it easily. And then the checkered boxes, which you can see, is actually the transparent layer. Like if you render it, you won't be able to, like you won't be able to see anything. You'll be just getting this part. And then you can make this text visible or invisible by clicking on this eye icon here. Like if you click on this, it goes, and vice versa. So I'll be telling you what these tools are used for. Like some main tools are used for. So right click on this, and then you'll be able to see so many tools. So this is the rectangle tool, rounded rectangle tool, ellipse, polygon, etc. I'll be choosing a rectangle tool and showing you some of what can be done. So first, just draw a rectangle, and then you can color it. Like right click on this, you'll be able to see so many colors. Click on any color, and here it is. So using this, you can move. For example, if you want to bring this image to the exact center, it's bit difficult. Like normally, if you use the mouse and try, it's bit difficult. So there is a shortcut. You have to press shift and then you have to click on the rectangle and then move left to right. Like it's fixed on like it's fixed horizontally. You cannot move it vertically. So make sure it's aligned at the center. And then the same for even vertical. You just click on shift, click on the rectangle and then move it like this. And then align it. But you won't be able to move horizontally. So that this rectangle is the center of the background. And I'll be telling you what a gradient tool is used for. So this is the gradient tool icon. You have to click on this, and on the upper part you will be able to see the picker tool of the gradient. You can choose whichever you want. I'll be choosing this, and then see you can see that there are four boxes here. The upper ones are used for location, like how much color you want to be, like you want on the screen. I'll just show you. And the bottom ones are for color. I'll be choosing green. This is for the left part, and this I'll be choosing it as yellow. And then I'll put the location as center. I told you right, this upper part are the locations. And then what needs to be done is you have to select the layer on which layer you want to put the gradient. So I have chosen the white background. So you can do like you do this and then here it is. Or you can do horizontally also if you want the gradient to be horizontal. Like if you want it to look like this, etc. Like how like whatever you feel it's good, you can do that. And then uh, this is the brush tool and the pencil tool. You can use this to color or something, color or paint or draw, like to do whatever you want. Then, in order to change the color of this brush tool or whatever tools you want, if you want to change the color, just click on this, left click on this, and then you'll be able to see the color window. You have to change it to whichever color you want to draw. Then you can draw whatever you want. Also, you can increase the brush size over here, over the top left. You can reduce the size and hardness also you can increase or decrease. And even the types of brushes are here, soft round, hard round, etc. Click on enter and then just draw it. You can draw whatever you want. And then this is the eraser tool. Like if you want to erase, you can use this tool and then erase. Then let's say you made a mistake. Like for example, you want to write some, you wanted to draw something, but you drew something else. So in order to go back, you have to press Control Z. So if you press Control Z, it just goes back one step behind. If you wanna keep going behind, you have to press Control Alt Z. I'll show you. I'll just show you. So you need to go three steps behind to erase all these three images. So what happens if I just press Control Z once and then if I press Control Z again, it'll come back. So what should be done if you want to remove all those three, lines? You just have to press Control Alt three times so that it gets removed. It gets removed. And this icon is the blur tool and the smudge tool. You can blur by up and then going around on this background, or you can use the smudge thing to to smudge over the background. So let me show you how smudge tool works.
Hi Shashank.
So
So,
right click on this, click left.
what are we
I
planning
mean
to do?
left click on the smudge tool. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. What are we planning to do now? Like,
like
how?
I'm just
What all backgrounds are we trying to merge?
showing you guys how to use the. Like I'm just like we're gonna merge this rectangle and the background. Like I'm showing how to use the smudge tool
All right,
or
all
the
right.
blur tool,
Okay, let's see. Let's see.
how it works.
Yeah.
So this is the smudge
Okay.
tool. Just click on this and then let's say you have drawn something, you have drawn eye. So if you
Hmm.
wanna play with this, like you can just do like this. This is basically this how smudge tool works. And then the blur tool is, I think everyone knows what blur is.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it just blurs the the background. So just increase the hardness over here, and then the size, how much ever you want, you can increase it.
Okay.
So I guess it's blurring. Is it visible?
Yeah, it's blurred. It's blurred. I can see that it's blurred. So this was using the blur tool, right? Not the merge tool.
It was got blurred. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Can you try doing that with this blue one as well?
yeah.
Blue
It's the
foreground.
blue.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah. If you wanna do on the blue thing, you have to select the blue interface over here, and then use the blur tool, or write something on it,
Mm-hmm.
and then use the blur tool.
Okay.
First, this is not happening because this uh, image, I mean, this interface should be rasterized.
Mm-hmm.
It
What is it?
lasts, like if it's not rasterized before, it lasts whether it should be rasterized or not. So you have to click on OK
Okay.
and then draw something on this and then use the blur tool.
Okay. Okay. Got it. All right.
So it's blurred now.
Okay. That's amazing.
So now I'll be, so this created a rectangle. So if you want a circle or ellipse, you just right click on this icon over here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So this is the rectangle tool, rounded rectangle, ellipse, etc. And here you are. You can just draw the ellipse and you can change the color over here on this window, small window.
Mhm.
You just right click and then choose whatever color you want.
So I had this doubt, like while drawing, how do
And
we
then
know
coming for
which?
the text part, I'll show you
Okay.
what all can be done.
Okay. Okay. One second.
So I'll just hide this rectangle thing by clicking on this eye icon here. So it'll just hide over here. Like you can undo this just like this. So this is the text tool. Like text tool, you can use this to draw whatever. To type whatever you want on this background. So horizontal type tool is
Okay.
one which will be used if you want to type it horizontally, and then vertical tool is the one which type vertically. So I'll be clicking on the horizontal type tool, and then I'll just show you something. This icon is used to increase or decrease the size of the text. Like it's given from 6 to 72 points. Like you can enter it manually also. For example,
Mhm.
55. And then these are the fonts. Uh, this this gives you whatever fonts you have downloaded from the website or which is given by the Photoshop to you. So you can choose whatever font you want, and then this one gives whether you want bold or italic or whatever you want, something like that. And
Okay.
then I've choose Leaks Spartan font, and then I'll be typing here. Now you can see that
Yeah.
lot more spaces are there between these letters over here, and even between the words. And even if you want to change the color of the font, I mean the color of the text, you have to select it and then click on this over this. You can choose whatever color you want, whatever intensity of color you want.
Okay.
And then, as I said, there are a lot of spaces between the letters. So, if you want to increase or decrease the space between the letters or between the words, you have to on this icon. So, you get a small window over here. So, this thing. you just see the small thing over here, which is called as the increase letter, uh, increase letter stuff, something like that. So this is the vertical alignment, which will be used to increase or decrease the spaces between the letters. So I have entered a value of 100. I think you can observe the difference here over here. I just entered 50, and I think you could have you could observe the difference.
Yeah.
Sometimes what happens is you click on enter and then you
Mm.
type something in the next sentence. I mean next line. Sometimes what happens is this. I'll just show you. It be like this merged. So what should be done if it should be proper, like proper distance should be there between two lines. Like you can either increase them or decrease them. So you have to click on this icon over here and then you can manually enter the value or you can select a random value over here. Like I guess you could have seen the difference here on the background. Now this looks proper. The spacing between the two lines is bit good as of now. So this is about the text. And now I'll be showing about the blur tool. Like you have an image, but you say for example you have taken a photo of yourself, and then in the background so many people are present, and then you don't want their faces to be seen. Like you don't want their presence. Like you just need to blur the background. So I'll just show you how it can be done. And now, right. So if you want to open another photo in the Photoshop, you have to go to the file and then open. So it'll ask which photo you want to open, like whatever you want to open. So just click on whatever you want to open and then click on open. So this is a photo where a Bugatti car is there and then the background is seen. Like the background is bit disturbed, like distorted. It's not looking good. So I need to blur the background except this car. So I'll tell you how it needs to be done. First thing you all need to do is click this is lock. As you can see, some lock like icon is there. You just have to click it so that you can unlock the image. See what happens is if the background is locked, you cannot move this. All right. So to unlock the background, you can move it wherever you want. Now you can see tool. So if you right click on this, you'll be able to see lasso tool, polygonal lasso tool, magnetic lasso tool. So the difference is polygonal lasso tool is you can just like you can manually edit it. Like you can manually drag wherever you want to. So that is the polygonal lasso tool. Magnetic lasso tool is it's a bit advanced tool where you just have to click on it and then it drags. Like you just need to drag over the object and then it detects the image. Like it detects the wherever you want to crop it, just like this. Then the lasso tool is you just have to click on the screen and then you just have to drag it wherever you want, like however you want to drag, like whatever you want to drag, you have to drag it, and then you have to release the mouse so it gets detected like this. So I'll be I'll be using the polygon and lasso tool. So to use this isn't like it's a bit difficult. It's a bit difficult to you know select this entire car image. I mean the car object. So you need to zoom in. So I'll start selecting the the boundary of the car, which I need to which I need not to blur. Like you just need to blur the background, right? So and I'll tell you how to zoom in and zoom out. You have to click on the alt and then you have to scroll inwards to zoom in and then scroll outwards to zoom out, just like this. So now I have car which need not be blurred. Like you just need to blur the background. So if I blur like the car will get blurred because we have selected the car object. So for that you have to go over this toolbar and click on select and then select inwards. Now what has happened is all the objects except the car has been taken into account. So if, the background will be blurred except the car. So in order to blur, you have to go to a filter in the toolbar, and then there are so many stuffs over here. For example, blur gallery, distort, noise, exam. Such sorts of tools are there. Then you just have to go on blur thing, and then there are so many types of blur. Like if you want like some boxes to be present in the blur, or you just want to blur it normally, or you want it to be motionally blurred, or you want it to be blurred radially, like such types are there. I'll be choosing Gaussian blur. So this is the radius. Radius in the sense, it just tells you how much intensity, like to what intensity you need to blur the background. So if you type one, like it's not much visible, right? Or you can select here also, like how much to what intensity you need to blur the background. Like if you blur it too much, it won't look that. So I'll be selecting just 10 pixels. That is the radius of the intensity, how much you want to blur it. So if you just click and here your background is blurred except the car. And now in order to deselect it, this You have to click it, or you can go over here. Just choose the button, click on select, and you can select it. So the background is blurred by car. And if you want the background, like this is just a normal blurring. Like if you want some effects to be added on the blurred background, you have to first convert this into a smart object. If you do not convert this into a smart object, you won't be able to add effects for this image. So what I'll do is go to this layer and right click on this, and then I'll choose convert to smart object. So now this whole background is been blurred. So in order to change the the background of this car, like the scenery, click on image on this toolbar, and then go to adjustments. You can see so options over here like brightness, levels, curves, exposure, vibrance, hue, saturation, color balance, etc. So you just have to choose, if you want to increase the color ratio, you have to click on vibrance. And then hue or saturation is something which you actually play with the color intensity. So I'll be choosing vibrance first. Just increase the vibrance a bit and then just increase the saturation. I'll tell you what difference it makes. Now exposure. This option, for example, this exposure it just brightens up. To decrease the exposure, just click on dark, and then now the gamma correction. Gamma correction is basically used to darken the lighter image or lighten the darker image. So if you increase the gamma correction, it darkens too much. You don't want it. You want it to be lighter. So just uh, pre- you can enter the value of 2 if you want. I think this should be fine.
Shashank, your voice is glitching a bit.
Am I audible now? Like, is it still
Yeah, good to go. Good to go. Okay.
thing will do? So saturation is you increase the intensity of the brighter colors in the background. Like if you decrease the saturation, it almost it only a black and white. Only these two colors will be working if you make the saturation as 0. I think you can see only the background has become black and white. If you increase the saturation too much, it looks too bright. Like the brightened colors will be too bright. So you have to convert how much saturation you need to put. You need to put accordingly. And then the hue is something, for example, you can see that this is much orangish in the background. So if you go to green, that thing will become red. That color code is available on Google. Like if you just Google it, you'll be able to get it. And then the lightness part, if you increase the like if you go through it, like if you If you increase it, the it becomes more lighter, and then if you decrease it, it becomes darker, just like this. So that's it about the blurring. Now Photoshop can also be used to edit the images. Like say example, you have taken a normal image, like normal beach image on your phone, but the sun is too flat, like the sunset background, the sky photo is too flat. So you need to edit it, right, to make it. So here you need to edit the photo so that the this photo looks much beautiful or much in an aesthetic way. So what we'll be doing is, this is the actual original photo taken on phone. Like this is an unedited. So the first thing what everyone should do is you have to remove this lock sign so that the background is movable. Otherwise, you won't be able to edit the photo. Next, you have to convert this image into smart object. So for that, you have to right click on this and then click on convert a smart object. Then the image will be converted to a. After that, what you have to do is go to image on the toolbar, then go to adjustments, the different uh, options over here. So first you have to choose color balance, and you can see three different lines of three different shades, six different shades. So the first one can give more bluish in color, like you can, I think you can observe here. So if you drag it towards the right side, the image reddish in color. So this blue or like this too much blue or too much red won't look good for me. So I'll put it somewhere over here. Since it is sunset, I'll push it towards the red. Now coming to the second line, if you magenta in the left end and green at the right end. So magenta is nothing but pink. The image looks more pink in color. If you drag it towards the magenta end. If you drag it towards the green end, the image looks a sort of green. It doesn't look good. So towards the magenta. Now in the last line, you can see yellow at the left end and the blue at the right end. So if you drag it towards the blue, it doesn't look realistic. It looks it's too much edited. So drag this towards the yellow. Now it somewhat looks realistic, but it always depends on you guys. Like if you want, like you can do it however you want. Now since this color balance thing is over, I'll click on OK and then go to vibrance part. For that you have to go to image to toolbar, and then adjustments and then vibrance. Increase the vibrance. It looks sort of brighter in color, something like this. I think you can. If you decrease the vibrance, it doesn't look good. Like it, the color fades away. So get towards the positive value of the vibrance. Now in saturation, if you decrease the saturation, it's nothing but the black and white image. But if you put more value for the saturation, it looks too bright and it doesn't look good for this. Put some, like I'll drag it towards the positive side so that it looks pretty good. Now vibrance part is over. Now I'll go to exposure. In exposure, if you increase the exposure, uh, it will get whiter in color. The image becomes more whiter. I think you can see now. If you decrease the exposure, the image fades away. So, since this is a sunset, I'd like to fade the image a bit, but not too much. Now, offset is like putting a layer of shade on the image. If you increase it, you can. I think you can see the layer of white background on this image. So, will not touch the offset. No gamma correction. If you increase the gamma correction, the image becomes more darker. If you decrease the gamma correction, it becomes more brighter. So since this is a sunset, I'd like to increase the gamma correction. Now I think this image looks much better than it was before. Now coming to exporting the image or rendering the image. In order to image, you have to go to File, then click on Export, and then Export as. Now you can see the format. If you want this to save in JPG format, click on JPG. If you want a higher on PNG, if you want it in a GAF format, click on GAF. If you want to export in SVG format, click on SVG. So I'll export this in JPG format. After clicking this, click on Enter, export all. Now you can save wherever you want. And that's it, guys.